Ali, can you hear me? Jayashri, Krishna, Nat, Nishu Gupta, Rama, Shivaraman, and Victor. Thank you, folks. Sorry about a little bit delay. So the GoToMeeting was not connecting before from my system. Yesterday, we were discussing about SAP HANA Studio. Today also, we'll continue with SAP HANA Studio. We'll finish SAP HANA Studio. So after finishing this SAP HANA Studio, you guys have to take an assignment, a quiz, or a practice certification examination test in basics of SAP HANA as well as in SAP HANA Studio. So that practice examination test consists of 20 questions. I will be posting those assignment today in the blog. So if you are if you did not get the blog, please make sure you need to have the access for the blog, because from now onwards I will be posting the assignments, and after one class even you have to work on hands-on assignments once we started data provisioning using flat files. So by next class, make sure everyone needs to have blog access as well as system access. So give me 1 second, folks. I will be sharing my screen. In session 2, we completed SAP HANA Studio up to content and catalog. So we know what is SAP HANA Studio, what is the purpose of SAP HANA Studio, what is the perspective in SAP HANA Studio, how to switch from one perspective to another perspective in SAP HANA Studio, how to add the system to the navigator view. Then once the system has been added, or once SAP HANA in-memory database instance has been added, how to go to admin console, what are the various tabs in admin console, what type of information you can find out from these tabs from admin console, then what is catalog, what is content, we discussed. Moving forward, we'll see the security. In up to support factory, once we expand SAP HANA in-memory database instance, or once you expand the system in navigator view, you will find only 2 folders. What are those 2 folders? One is content. Content is a folder where all database schemas resides. So if you want to create any database object like table, view, database trigger, we can create any one of these database objects under appropriate schemas. So the catalog folder consists of schemas. Again, in schemas, we have custom defined schemas, system defined schemas, as well as the schemas related to applications that are installed on top of this HANA database. Well, if a customer is creating a schema, if it is a customer defined schema in order to store the data, big data, okay, in that case, once the data has been created, once the database schema has been created, then we can create corresponding database objects under the schema only. Like what type of objects can be created under the schema? Like views, triggers, tables, synonyms, sequence, triggers, procedures, and all. Using these database tables, once the data has been loaded to these tables under appropriate schemas, in order to facilitate our reporting requirements, we can create information models under appropriate packages. So the content is a folder consists of all the packages. So what exactly a package consists of? The package consists of the information models. Again, there are various types of information models like attribute views, analytical views, calculation views, decision tables, different types of information models. But there are three important information models. First one is attribute view. Attribute view is like a dimension for multidimensional reporting. Analytical view is a star schema concept or a info cube concept or HANA info cube concept. And calculation view is very important for complex reporting requirements where the data has to be combined from various other information models, okay, from other database tables and information models. Calculation views are very important. So the security folder, using the security folder, we can create the objects related to security, like users. We can create database users, and we can create the roles, and we can assign the roles to the database users. Up to support pack 3, the security folder is a subfolder in the content. So when SAP released support pack 4, they realized, okay, it doesn't make much sense, okay, by keeping security as a subfolder under catalog. In support pack 4, they separated security folder from catalog. So from support pack 4 onwards, so you will have 3 folders once you expand the system, or once you expand HANA database instance under, in Navigator view. So in support, up to support pack 3, there are only 2 folders you will find once you expand this HANA database instance or the system in Navigator view. What are those? Okay, catalog and content. We know what is the purpose of catalog, what is the purpose of content, and the security will use to create the users and roles, to assign the roles to the users and all. We are going to see the complete security in this course. Okay, the different concepts related to creation of the users, creation of the roles, assigning the roles to the users, assigning different privileges to the users. Okay, all this concept will be covered as a part of this course. So this folder was a subfolder under catalog up to support pack 3. But from support pack 4 onwards, it has been separated from catalog folder. When SAP released support pack 5, there are total altogether 4 folders: catalog, content, security, there is one more folder, that is backup. So we don't have this folder up to support pack 4. See this one, this backup folder you will find only from Service Pack 5 onwards. What is this backup? From Service Pack 5 onwards, if the DBAs, if HANA administrators, if they want to take the backup and recovery of HANA database, instead of going to the command based based operating system in SUSE Linux, they can directly use a wizard. So this is the wizard, a GUI based wizard using which they can take the backup and they can recover the database also. Then what is the other options provided by SAP using this backup wizard, which is a GUI based environment, is up to support pack 4 we don't have this option. In support pack 5, when SAP provided this backup wizard, so using this backup wizard, which is a completely GUI based tool, using which we can take the complete backup of SAP HANA database, and not only taking the backup, we can recover the HANA database also. Complete backup and recovery. So apart from that, what is the new option given by SAP in this wizard is this, using this wizard, if any client wants to use a third-party backup and recovery tool, if they want to integrate any third-party backup and recovery tool for backup and recovery purpose with SAP HANA, they can integrate a third-party backup and recovery tool, such as IBM Tivoli data management tool. Using this backup, complete backup and recovery process is a GUI based. Basically, it's a wizard. And what are the special features provided by SAP in this wizard is, if you want to integrate with any third-party backup and recovery tools, okay, for backup and recovery purpose with SAP HANA, you can integrate third-party backup and recovery tools, such as IBM Tivoli data management tool. Integration. Example is IBM Tivoli data management tool. So if a client wants to use any third-party backup and recovery tool, if a client wants to integrate a third-party backup and recovery tool with SAP HANA for backup and recovery purpose, see, we have two options here. First one is backend setting. What is backend setting? Configure the connection to the third-party backup tool, specify the parameter file and backend agent. So using this wizard, if the client wants to integrate any third-party backup and recovery tool for backup and recovery purpose with SAP HANA database, they can integrate. Second option is, if that, so for example, a client, they don't want to use any third-party backup and recovery tool. They want to go for default backup and recovery option. The default backup and recovery option is also possible with this backup wizard, that is file-based backup. It's a default. Using file-based backup, you don't have to use any third-party backup and recovery tool such as IBM Tivoli data management tool. This is file-based backup. So file-based backup, you don't have to integrate any third-party backup and recovery tool. If a client can afford, if a client is already using a Tivoli data management tool for other purpose, they want to use this tool for backup and recovery purpose of SAP HANA, well, they can integrate using backend settings. Second option is file-based backup. These are default option available without using any third-party backup and recovery tool. So in file-based backup, whenever you are taking the backup of a database, it will generate file in the specific destination, the disk, then we can recover also. This is a log file destination, we can recover. So this is complete step-by-step procedure. So I will show you in backup class. Okay, I will show you how to take the backup, how to recover the system. See, using this wizard, this is completely a step-by-step procedure. You don't have to use any, you don't have to log into any command-based, okay, SUSE Linux environment for backup and recovery purpose. Select what type of backup you want to use, file type backup or backend settings. Are you using any third-party backup tool which is already integrated with SAP HANA or file? Just step-by-step procedure, very simple. That is what a wizard means. What a wizard does, a wizard will provide step-by-step procedure, okay, in order to accomplish that specific task. So I'm not taking the backup now. So using the backup option, what is the flexibility we are getting? The first flexibility is the HANA administrators, they can take the backup of this HANA database, they can recover the HANA database, okay, without logging into any SUSE Linux command-based operating environment. Just it's completely GUI-based environment. It's like kind of wizard. Second one is here, if the client wants to integrate any third-party backup and recovery tool, such as IBM Tivoli data management tool, we have an option of integration. Our other option, the default option is file-based backup. So using the file-based backup, whenever we are taking the backup of this HANA database, it's going to generate the backup file on specific destination. This is a path, this is a log file destination. Well, if you want to do the backup and recovery using file-based, backend settings using third-party backup tool, then while taking the backup, you have to specify which option you want to use. If you are using backend setting, make sure we have to integrate third-party backup and recovery tool, like any backup third-party backup and recovery tool. Most of the clients will use IBM Tivoli data management tool. We can integrate, we can select, and we can take the backup in this third-party backup and recovery tool. We can restore. So this option, this is a new option from only Service Pack 5. So in Service Pack 7, from Service Pack 7 onwards, SAP has provided a new data provisioning method that is called Smart Data Access. So we'll see what is Smart Data Access. Smart Data Access for remote source systems. Okay, if you want to create the calculation views based on the remote source systems, okay, data provisioning based on remote source systems, we can use Smart Data Access. So from Service Pack 7 onwards, total how many folders we have? Total 5 folders. So we are in Service Pack 9 now. Okay, we have catalog, content, security, backup, and provisioning. For Smart Data Access. It's a new data provisioning option given by SAP from Service Pack 7 onwards. So in Support Pack 3, we don't have these many folders, only 2 folders, catalog and content. We know what is the purpose of catalog. The catalog is a folder where all the database schemas resides. That can be a custom defined schema or system defined schema or the schema related to application which install on top of HANA database. Second one is content. So using the tables of the schema, we can create the information models in order to facilitate our reporting requirements. Basically, all modeling objects. Up to support pack 3, the security folder is a subfolder under catalog. Is a subfolder under catalog. Later on, SAP, okay, from service pack 4 onwards, security is not a subfolder under catalog anymore. So it is an independent folder altogether. So what is the purpose of security folder? Using security folder, we can create HANA database users, we can create the roles, and we can assign the roles to the database users. All these type of activities we can perform using GUI based environment. When SAP released Service Pack 5, in Service Pack 5, along with these 3 folders, there is one new folder given by SAP, that is backup. So what is this backup folder is? In order to take the backup of SAP HANA system and to recover this SAP HANA database, we can use a GUI based environment, a wizard, okay, instead of using OS environment, SUSE Linux environment. And what is the new options? What is the extra features provided by SAP in this wizard is, using this wizard for backup and recovery purpose, we have 2 options. First option is backend settings. What is backend setting is, using backend settings, you can integrate any third-party backup and recovery tool for your backup and recovery process, like IBM TOL data management. If the client can afford, or if the client already using the tool in the project environment for other purposes. Well, if the client wants to go for a default backup and recovery process using this wizard, that is file-based backup. So whenever you are taking the backup of the system, this database corresponding file will be generated on this location, and this is a log file. Then from that you can recover the database also. So I will show you how to take the backup and how to recover the database in our future sessions, specifically in security and admin sessions. From Service Pack 7 onwards, you will find total 5 folders. What is the 5th folder added in from Service Pack 7 onwards is, the 5th folder is provisioning. You don't find this provisioning folder up to Service Pack 6. From Service Pack 7, this is the new folder added under this SAP HANA system or SAP HANA database instance. What is the purpose of this provisioning is, from Service Pack 7 onwards, SAP has given a new data provisioning option. What is the new data provisioning option is? Smart data access. Using the smart data access, okay, we can use remote systems to load the data, as well as we can create the calculation views also based on remote systems. Well, in data provisioning sessions, we'll see what is this smart data access. So currently we are in Service Pack 9. So that is the reason in Service Pack 9 also you are able to see 5 folders. From which support pack we have the 5 folders? From Service Pack 7. Any questions, folks? Make sure you have to be clear. Under this SAP HANA database instance, we have 5 folders. What is the purpose of each and every folder? What type of objects resides in these folders? What is the purpose of these folders? Yes, first I will go to the Victor.
Hi. Yeah. Can you just explain more on the catalog folder? What makes up the catalog folder? Thanks.
Well, yesterday I discussed about the catalog folder. What is catalog folder is, well, what is SAP HANA appliance? SAP HANA appliance comes along with a bunch of components. What type of edition the client is purchasing? Okay, it depends upon the edition. The number of components comes along with this SAP HANA appliance, like SAP HANA in-memory computing engine, SAP HANA Studio, Business Object Data Services, SLT. We discussed about what are the different editions in which the HANA appliance is available. If you name any edition of SAP HANA, that can be platform edition, which is a basic edition of SAP HANA, that can be enterprise edition, that can be extended enterprise edition. In these three editions, in any SAP HANA edition, the core component, you can say heart of SAP HANA is SAP HANA database. SAP HANA database. SAP HANA database. This is also known as SAP HANA IMCE. IMCE stands for in-memory computing engine. What is the core component in SAP HANA appliance? IMCE. Well, SAP HANA is an in-memory database. Though it's an in-memory database, okay, it's a database. It satisfies all the rules of cards, okay, to be a RDBMS. So in any RDBMS, how the data will be stored? The data will be stored in the form of tables, relations. Apart from tables, we can create different objects in any RDBMS. What type of objects we can create? We can create views, we can create database functions, we can create database procedures, we can create synonyms, okay, we can create sequences. The same way how we are creating different database objects in any other RDBMS, in any other traditional RDBMS, we can create all these type of objects in in-memory database also. So, but in in-memory database, we cannot create these objects directly. Every database object in SAP HANA, any database objects, whatever the database objects that are possible in SAP HANA, every database objects will belongs to a specific schema. In SAP HANA, you can create any database object under a specific schema only. Every database object will associate with a specific schema. So catalog is a folder which consists of all the schemas in SAP HANA database. Whatever the schemas that exist in SAP HANA database. Well, what are the different types of schemas that can exist in SAP HANA database? First one is custom defined schemas. What is custom defined schemas? As a part of our project implementation, the client wants to store the big data in SAP HANA. How they have to store the big data in SAP HANA? In form of tables. Okay, how we can create the tables in SAP HANA? Under appropriate schemas only. So we can create a number of custom defined schemas under catalog. Basically the catalog is a folder which consists of schemas. Again, under this schema, under this catalog, we can create custom defined schemas. What is custom defined schemas? The schemas that are defined by client as a project, as a part of the project implementation. So once we created the schema, we can create different types of objects, starting with tables, views, triggers, synonyms under this schema. Apart from custom defined schemas, there are some schemas comes along with installation. Those are called system defined schemas. Any schema starts with _sys is a system defined schema. Well, SAP HANA we can use as an underlying database for SAP BW, SAP ECC or SAP CRM. If any application is installed on top of this SAP HANA database, you will find one schema associated with that application. So here you will find custom defined schemas, system defined schemas, and application schemas. So how to create a schema is, go to the SQL console. There is no GUI based environment to create a schema. Like other database objects, we can create using create statements. Okay, we can use DDL statements, data definition language statements, or we can use GUI based environment also to create those database objects. But in order to create database schemas in SAP HANA, there is no GUI based environment is available. We have to create a schema just by executing a simple create statement. Create schema . Okay, create schema, schema name. Schema name is, for example, so in a nutshell, the catalog consists of database schemas. What exactly a database schema consists of? Different database objects. What are the different types of schemas that can be created that are available under catalog is custom defined schemas, system defined schemas, and application schemas. Yeah, next question is, Ali. Yes, Ali? Yeah, I will come to Jayashree. Yeah, Ali, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so my question is, you just created a schema, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does the schema have right now? Does it have any table or nothing? It's just
when you create a schema, that's under that schema, if it is a new schema, no object exists in this schema, but it says what are the different objects you can create in this schema. Here it will show you the different folders. Different folder means this folder doesn't consist of any object, but it says you can create the views in this schema, you can create that triggers in this schema, you can create tables in this schema. Suppose if you are creating a table in this schema, you can create the table. Once the table has been created, once you expand this tables under the schema, how many tables that are exist in the schema, it will list all the tables. As of now, this schema does not consist of anything. It only listing different folders means these are the different types of objects that can be created under that schema. Okay, but once you create a new schema, that schema does not consist of anything. Yeah, Jayashree. What is smart data access? Smart data access is one of the data provisioning method. What is a data provisioning method? Loading the data from different source system to SAP HANA. So smart data access is a specialized data provisioning method to load the data from remote systems. So what is a remote system? What is the smart data access? We'll see in our data provisioning sessions. Shivaraman. Yes, sir. I unmuted you. Please go ahead with your question.
Hey, I have a question about the in-memory computing.
Okay.
See, all the databases like Oracle or SQL Server, every database, it pulls the data from file and it loads into the RAM, like a buffer cache or somewhere.
Okay.
and then it processes the data, right?
Yes.
So how the SAP HANA is different from that? I mean,
Yeah, I got your question. Okay, if you name any traditional database, in any traditional database like Oracle, SQL Server, blah blah blah, we'll name as a XRDBMS. XRDBMS means a traditional database. In any traditional database, the primary persistence of the data is hard drive. So whenever we need the data for the reporting or for the processing, what the CPU does, or CPU or processor, the CPU or processor will perform disk IOs. So what is a hard drive? It's a mechanical device. To load the data from hard drive to RAM, which is a main memory, random access memory, which is a volatile flash memory. Once the data has been loaded to RAM, then the data is available for processing, the data is available for reporting. This is called traditional analytics. In traditional analytics, always we require disk IOs in order to get the data from hard drive to RAM. Whereas in any in-memory database, like SAP HANA or EMC Greenplum, you name any in-memory database. In any in-memory database, the primary persistence of the data is not hard drive. The complete data resides in the RAM itself. It doesn't matter. It's a terabytes of data or petabytes of data. We already discussed, I guess for Shivaraman, this is the first session. So we already discussed all these things in the demo itself. Okay. So the data is directly available from RAM for the reporting. We don't need any disk IOs. The data is directly available from RAM for the processing. This is called in-memory analytics. Using any traditional database, the traditional analytics are possible. In traditional analytics, what are the major performance bottlenecks? In any traditional analytics, the major performance bottlenecks are disk IOs. As far as in-memory analytics is concerned, using any in-memory database, not only SAP HANA, in any in-memory database, the primary persistence of the data in any in-memory database is RAM. The complete data resides in the RAM itself. So the data is directly available from RAM for the reporting, for the processing. So always in-memory analytics is very faster when comparing with traditional analytics. And one more reason why SAP HANA is super duper fast is, apart from this in-memory capabilities, SAP HANA can fully leverage new software technology innovations, new hardware technology innovations. So what type of new software technology innovations and new hardware technology innovations that HANA can fully leverage, we already discussed in the session in HANA, in demo session. Okay, if you don't have that session, okay, you can get you can view that session recording in the blog also. So in-memory analytics is very faster when comparing with traditional analytics. So the difference between traditional databases or in-memory databases is, in traditional databases, the complete data resides, the primary persistence of the data is hard drive. So whenever we require the data for the processing and reporting, so the CPU will perform the disk IOs to read the data from hard drive to RAM. So in order to perform the disk IOs, okay, it requires significant amount of time. Even whenever, okay, the CPU is reading very high volume of data, very big data. So that is the reason the query process is going to be very slower in case of traditional analytics. Whereas in-memory database, what is the difference when comparing with traditional databases like Oracle SQL Server is, in any in-memory database, the complete data resides in the RAM itself. In the sense, the primary persistence of the data in any in-memory database is RAM. From RAM, the data is directly available for reporting, the data is directly available for processing. We don't need any disk drivers. That is the reason in-memory analytics is always faster when comparing with traditional analytics. As far as HANA is concerned, apart from in-memory capabilities, HANA can fully leverage new software technology innovations. So these are the new software technology innovations, new hardware technology innovations, which makes HANA super duper fast. I have seen, okay, we have gone through one of the POC also. So that is the difference between traditional database and in-memory database. Any other question, folks? Okay. Okay. In SAP HANA Studio, we have various perspectives as we discussed. What are the various perspectives that are available? SAP HANA administration perspective, HANA development perspective, SAP HANA modeling perspective and all. In SAP HANA modeler perspective, suppose if you are in administration perspective. In administration perspective, we don't have anything on the right hand side. If you click on HANA modeling perspective, see here we have some quick view option. So you will get this quick view option in only SAP HANA modeler perspective. So you don't get this quick view option in HANA admin perspective. Because using this quick view option, what are the options that are available in the quick view? Those are more related towards modeling, not for administration. That is the reason this quick view pane on the right hand side you will get only in modeler perspective. See, currently I am in modeler perspective. So that is the reason this quick view is displayed. Well, what are the different options that are available in a quick view option? Quick view pane is, here most of the options are related to modeling. For example, so if you want to create the delivery units for transporting the information models from one box to another box in the system landscape. So in order to transport the models from information models from one box to another box in the system landscape, in server-side export, we'll use the delivery units. Generate the time data, configure the info server, import, export, mass copy, mass validation, mass activation, mass redeploy, auto documentation. Most of these options are related to modeling, managing the information models. In the modeling session, I will be covering all these options. Only one option, that is data provisioning. In QQ, we'll use for setting up the SLT. See, this is SLT for real-time replication. So apart from this option, all other options are related to modeling. So this quick view you will get in only SAP HANA modeler perspective in SAP HANA Studio. So you don't get this quick view in other perspectives, because whatever the options that are available in the quick view, all these options related to HANA modeling. Okay, all these options are related to HANA information models, for transporting the information models, for activating mass activation, mass redeploy. Okay, most of these options are available. Most of these options for managing the information models. Most of these options are related to modeling. Only one option that is not related to modeling is data provisioning. So using the data provisioning options, we can configure the SLT. This is one of the certification questions. So SLT configuration is available in which perspective of SAP HANA Studio? The answer is, correct answer is modular perspective of SAP HANA Studio. So you can configure SLT only from modular perspective of SAP HANA Studio, because configuration of SLT option is available in only quick view, in which perspective the quick view is available in modular perspective. So apart from this data provisioning for real-time replication SLT, all other options are related to modeling. Okay, suppose if you want to view the structure of a table. So in this schema, there are some tables created by the students. Suppose you want to view the structure of this table. So whenever you are opening any object, that can be database object, that can be information model, see that object definition or the data from that object will be displayed by creating a new tab here. See here, before that we don't have this new tab. I want to view the data from this table. Now I want to display the structure of an information model, a structure of a analytical view. Like this. So whenever you don't, once you are done with that the tab, you can close. So you view the structure of this object. So you can open the definition of any database object. Okay, if you can view the content of the database object like table or view, or you can view the structure of information model, or you can view the content of the information model and all. Underneath here, there are three panes. First one is where used list. Second one is properties. Third one is job log. We have job history. Okay, we have the basically whenever you are executing a job, so it will show you the job status, job history as well as job log. What is where used list is, suppose this is one object. If this object is used in any other object, suppose I created one calculation view based on this analytical view, then it will show you what are the other objects in which this object has been involved. Excuse me. So if you place the cursor, if this object is used in any other object, it will display those objects. Okay, in the properties tab, this is a properties tab. So I place the cursor on a specific field of this information model, or specific object of this information model. See, it will display all the properties of this object. What is name, the technical name, okay, any other properties. If I schedule any job, like I'm activating information model, I'm importing the data from a flat file, whenever you are performing certain activities, the execution of those activities will be handed over to a job. So here in this pane, you can see what is the job type. Job is redeployment in HANA system, HDB. What is the user? It's completed success. What is the status? It's end up with the error. Okay, it will show you the rate. You can go to the log, you can read. So complete, it will display the job log. And if the job is progress, it will show you, okay, the job is progress. How much percentage of the job is completed and out. And history. So in this pane, whenever we are executing a job, whenever, okay, the job has been executed, then you can see the job log, whether the job is executed successfully or end up with the errors, okay, in which system the job is executed, okay, what is the user, all these details. And in job progress tab, you can see what is the job state, okay, how much percentage of the job is completed and all other details, and the history. So these are the different panes we have in SAP HANA Studio. So if you want to know more about SAP HANA Studio, if you want to read the documentation, go to the help about SAP HANA Studio. So you can find all the relevant links for Eclipse and all. Even from welcome screen, SAP HANA Studio, so we have documentation. So I will quickly recap what we discussed in SAP HANA Studio, so that if you have any questions, we can discuss your question in SAP HANA Studio. What is SAP HANA Studio is a quick recap within 5 to 10 minutes. SAP HANA Studio is a client tool provided by SAP in any SAP HANA appliance, in any edition of SAP HANA appliance. It can be a platform edition, it can be enterprise edition, it can be extended enterprise edition. So after the SAP HANA database, what is the important component in SAP HANA appliance is SAP HANA Studio. So whenever you are working in a project, in HANA project, most of the time you will be working with SAP HANA Studio. That is the reason you're supposed to know all the concepts. Okay, what is perspective in SAP HANA Studio? Okay, how to switch from one perspective to another perspective. What are the options that are available in different perspectives? You're supposed to know all this before starting. Okay, data provisioning part. Even in fact, you'll be working with this tool in any project implementation of SAP HANA. So you are a consultant at client side and need to launch SAP HANA Studio for the first time. So you need to add the customer SAP HANA instance to your SAP HANA installation so that you can work on server and create the delivery units, packages, information models. So SAP HANA Studio is a client tool delivered in any SAP HANA appliance in any edition that provides an environment for administration, modeling, development, and data provisioning. It can be installed on your local PC or on your workstation. So what is SAP HANA Studio is? SAP HANA Studio is the client tool which is developed in Java technology. Basically it's a Java Eclipse based tool. It's a Java Eclipse based platform. So once you install SAP HANA Studio, you can see this icon on your desktop. This is SAP HANA Studio. Or if you go to the Start All Programs in Windows operating system, you will find SAP HANA. If you expand this SAP HANA, whenever you are launching SAP HANA Studio for the first time, when you launched, first it will display welcome screen of SAP HANA Studio. In welcome screen, you can launch SAP HANA Studio in admin perspective, in molder perspective, in development perspective, in LCM perspective, in documentation perspectives. Several perspectives are available in the welcome screen. You can decide in which perspective you want to launch SAP HANA Studio. Then what is SAP? What is a perspective in SAP HANA Studio? When you start SAP HANA Studio for the first time, you can decide on several perspectives, and you can decide in which perspective you want to launch the SAP HANA Studio. The perspectives are user-defined user layouts or views for several application use. In a project environment, different team members will be using this SAP HANA Studio. SAP HANA developers, SAP HANA molders, SAP HANA data provisioning consultants, SAP HANA subject matter experts, SAP HANA administrators. So they want to use this SAP HANA Studio in order to perform their relevant activities. So a HANA administrators wants to launch SAP HANA Studio in admin perspective. So admin perspective facilitates more options for administration, because this perspective is meant for administrators. So it provides more options, okay, related to administration. Suppose a HANA molder in this project wants to launch SAP HANA Studio or wants to use the molder perspective of SAP HANA. In molder perspective of SAP HANA Studio, we can connect to SAP HANA database, but what are the more options available in this perspective? More options related to modeling, not administration. Like this, a perspective is a user interface layouts specific for a specific application use, specified or specialized for a specific application use. That can be admin, that can be molder, that can be HANA development. So once you launch SAP HANA Studio in any one of this perspective, suppose I launched SAP HANA Studio in admin perspective. On the left hand side of SAP HANA Studio, once you install the first time, after installation of the first time, SAP HANA Studio, once you launched SAP HANA Studio, once you selected any one of the perspective from welcome screen, you will be in this screen. So on the left hand side, this pane is called navigator view. Watch my mouse cursor, my mouse position. This is called navigator view. So this is called navigator view. So what is navigator view is? In navigator view, we can add one or more database instances, SAP HANA database instances, so that we can perform the relevant activities. So basically the purpose of SAP HANA Studio to connect to SAP HANA database or SAP HANA in-memory database instance in order to perform various types of activities. So how to add a system to the navigator view? In navigator view, the system is nothing but HANA database server or HANA IMCE or SAP HANA database instance. There are two options to add the system under this navigator view. First one is, suppose if you have to add more than one system, then you can create a folder first, like SAP HANA development or testing or production. So you can create a folder first with appropriate description. Then under this folder, you can add the system. So in order to add the system to the navigator view, you suppose know some of the parameters, some of the system info. What are the parameters you supposed to know in order to add the system to the navigator views? First is host name. Our host name is HANA SP7. You can get this information from concerned person in the project team, administrator. Instance number. Select the language. In order to add the system to the navigator view, we need one valid database user in SAP HANA database. So we are using system, password welcome 789. You will get all these information from service provider. See, the system has been added to the navigator view. So it's not mandatory to add the system under a folder. If you want to add the system directly to navigator view, see, you can directly add. Just right click, select add the system. Once the system has been added directly in the navigator view or under appropriate folders in the navigator view, if you want to find out all the information about the system, place the cursor, go to the administration console. What is administration console is? In administration console, there are various tabs under which you will find relevant information about SAP HANA database. This information is more related to administration, or this information is very useful for HANA administrators. Okay, so probably HANA developers or HANA subject matter experts, other team members, they don't require much information about this SAP HANA admin console. But if you have idea about what is admin console, what type of information is available, it's always well and good. But this information is always useful for administrators. So we have various tabs in HANA admin console. So in overview tab, you can see the general information. What is the version of SAP HANA? What is the operating system on which the HANA has been installed? What is SAP HANA memory, disk usage? What are the alerts we have? In yesterday's session, I explained all these things. In landscape, it will list all the services that are available in SAP HANA in-memory database. So every service will have a specific functionality. Once all these services are up and running, the database server is up and running. Among these services, very important service is index server. Tomorrow we will start the architecture of index server or complete HANA database architecture. Alerts. In alerts tab, it will list all the alerts that are currently exist in SAP HANA database. There are three types of alerts. One is alerts with high priority, alerts with medium priority, and alerts with low priority. So the administrator can read these alerts from alerts tab, and they can take timely actions for smooth up and running of this SAP HANA database. So we did not touch the performance. So moving forward, we will be touch base with performance. Volumes. In volumes, as we know, SAP HANA is a in-memory database, and complete RAM is a flash memory. It's a non-volatile. In case of power outage, in case of system reboot, the complete data can be erased from RAM. So how we are implementing the data safety is by storing the data on a non-volatile media like disk storage. So that if in order to handle any situation like power outage or system reboot, the system can read the data from hard drive to SAP HANA. So there is a component called persistence layer which inserts the data from RAM to disk storage on a regular intervals. Those are save points. Those are also known as save points. We'll see in tomorrow's class. Complete architecture. What are the different components in SAP HANA database? What is persistence layer? What it does? And what is the functionality and all. So in configuration, there are so many INI files. And if you want to set up any initial settings, or if you want to set up any parameters related to a tool that is integrated with SAP HANA, any technology. In system information, there are a bunch of tables available. From these tables, the administrators can find so much of information related to SAP HANA database, but this information is related to most HANA database. Administrators require this information. So diagnosis files, the diagnosis files, we have different types of diagnosis files. The files with extension TRC, trace files, log files and all. So in order to diagnose the problem, in order to figure it out, the root cause of the problem, the administrators can take the help of these diagnosis files. In SAP HANA database, the different types of traces are available. Trace means tracking. So the HANA administrators, based on the project requirements, they can activate any one of these traces. Okay, as per the project requirement. So expensive statement trace, performance trace, SQL trace, database trace, user specific trace, end-to-end trace. These are the different database traces. Sorry, these are the different traces that are available. So whenever you activate a trace, corresponding trace file will be generated here. Then you can go to the trace file, means the administrator, then they can figure it out all the information. So once you expand SAP HANA database up to support pack 3, we will find only 2 folders, catalog and content. Catalog is a folder where all HANA database schemas exist, where all SAP HANA database schemas resides. What is a schema in SAP HANA database is? A schema is a database object which consists of other database objects like tables, views, synonyms, sequence, triggers and all. In SAP HANA database, you cannot create directly a table. You cannot create any other database object directly. Every database object like tables or views or functions or queries has to be created under a specific schema only. You can create any database object which is required for the project implementation under appropriate schema only. So here you can create a number of custom defined schemas. Okay, and as a part of installation there are some schemas comes along with installation. Those are nothing but system schemas. Any schema starts with _sys, and if any application is installed on top of SAP HANA, application schemas. Using these database tables that resides under these schemas, we can create information models in order to facilitate our reporting requirements under content. So content is a folder which consists of packages. What is a package? A package contains information models. So every information model we will create in SAP HANA database for our reporting purpose will reside under a specific package only. So under content folder we can create a number of packages. So under the packages we can create corresponding information models. Information models like we can create sub packages also. Information models like attribute views, analytical views. In support pack 3, security is a subfolder under catalog. Using security folder, we can create users, we can create roles, we can assign the roles to the users. All this stuff, all these activities can be performed using the security folder. So you can create a new user, you can create a new folder, new role, you can assign the roles to the users and all. So the security was a subfolder under catalog up to service pack 3. But in service pack 4, SAP separated the security folder from catalog folder. It's an independent folder altogether. It's not a subfolder under catalog anymore from service pack 4 onwards. In service pack 5, SAP has given total 4 folders. What is the 4th folder given by SAP? Backup. The backup is a folder. Basically in this folder, so there is a wizard, okay, which guide you step by step process, okay, which will guide you step by step in order to take the backup of this SAP HANA database to recover. So what are the additional features that are available in this wizard is, if a client wants to integrate any third-party backup and recovery tool for backup and recovery purpose of SAP HANA database, so okay, in configuration tab, see we have backend setting for integration of any other third-party backup and recovery tool, and file-based backup. So from Service Pack 7 onwards, provisioning is the new folder. Using provisioning, we can use Smart Data Access. It's one of the data provisioning method for the remote systems. Okay, we'll see this one. So currently we are in Support Pack 9. That is the reason. You'll see total 5 folders once you expand this SAP HANA database. Okay. So in order to switch from one perspective to another perspective, there are 2 options available. One is fast switch. What is fast switch is, whatever the perspectives that are recently opened, you can see on the right hand side, upper corner of the right hand side, just you can switch from one perspective to another perspective. This is called fast switch. Otherwise, if you want to switch to a perspective that is not listed here, go to the window, open perspective, other. So you can see all the perspectives. You can select the perspective to one you want to switch to. So we'll see what are the perspectives that are available in coming sessions. So underneath of this, say whenever you want to view an object, or you want to display the data from, you want to view the data from a specific object. For example, I want to view the structure of a table, a database object. So whenever you open the structure of this table, that will be open in a separate tab. See here, you can see the tab here. Now I want to view the data from this table. So you want to open a specific information model. Hello sir. Hello sir. సార్ అని సార్ నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను, హ్యానా క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను. మీకు ఒక 15-20 minutes తర్వాత కాల్ బ్యాక్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, నేను యూఎస్కి వచ్చేసాను. ఓకే సార్, బాయ్. Sorry folks. Okay, this whenever you are opening any other session also, any other object also, that will be opened here. And if you want to close the tab, you can close like this. So underneath of this SAP HANA Studio, you will find various list, okay, properties and other panes, job panes. Okay, it will display the job log, history, job history and all. So in SAP HANA modeler perspective, on the right hand side, you will get one quick view option. In the quick view option, you will get more options related to modeling. One of the option is data provisioning, which is not related to modeling. But for data provisioning, using this option, we can configure the SLT, which is a real-time replication method. Okay, we'll talk about how to configure the SLT, okay, which is a very important data provisioning method in SAP HANA used for real-time replication. And apart from SAP HANA modeling, administration, what are the other perspectives that are used in SAP HANA project is, suppose if a client is using SAP HANA as underlying database for BW. In that case, to create composite providers, we will use this HANA BW modeling. So in BW with SAP HANA class, I will explain this. Now, a client is using application development on HANA using ABAP, using Java. I cannot promise you, but if time permits, so I will show you, okay, what is ABAP with Java, 1 or 2 examples. ABAP with HANA. Debugging option. Like this, there are other features, there are other new perspectives also available. So what are the new perspectives that are available? As we move on, we'll discuss. So first, we are going to start with the modeling perspective. Okay, First we'll start the data provisioning. In the data provisioning, flat files, okay, and setting up the SLT, configuration of import server. For most of those options, we'll use this perspective. For data provisioning also, we are going to use modeling perspective. Anyways, for modeling, we'll be using the modeling perspective, and I will show you how to use other perspectives as well as we move on. Yes, Srinivasan, what is your question? I guess this is your first question, first session, right? Shivaraman?
Yeah, that's my question.
Okay. So you go through the previous recordings, okay, for session 1 and session 2 recordings. So after going through session 1 and session 2 recordings, most of your questions will be clarified. If you have any questions, okay, in next class I will stay with you after the class so we can discuss your question further. Yeah, Nishu Gupta, you are okay. I can see your phone is not activated. You can type your question in chat window, ma'am. Ali, can you hear me, sir? You raised your hand, Ali. Mr. Ali?
Yeah, Ilyas.
Yes, sir. Go ahead with your question, please.
Yeah, my question was just now when you were showing the catalog and showing some tables, there was some data in the tables.
Yes.
So how did the data come in there?
Yes. The data will come to SAP HANA tables using various data provisioning methods. So the data provisioning method can be using business object data services, using SLT. We can directly load the data from the flat files to SAP HANA tables. We can load the data from different source system using business object data services, which is an ETL tool. We can load the data from different source system using SLT, from different data loading options, but we cannot call them as a data loading in SAP HANA. SAP has given specific terminology for loading the data. That is nothing but data provisioning. So how the data will come to this SAP HANA database table is using any one of these data provisioning methods. So we'll load the data into these HANA database tables using different data provisioning methods. So once I completed SAP HANA architecture, that is tomorrow's session, I need only one session to complete SAP HANA architecture. After completion of SAP HANA architecture, we'll start with, if you look at our syllabus, we'll start with data provisioning. So we'll see how to create the tables in SAP HANA, how to import the tables from different source systems, means the table structures, then how to load the data into these different tables using different data provisioning methods. So if you look at the data provisioning methods, so what is data provisioning? Loading the data from different source system to SAP HANA database tables. So these are the different methods using which the data will come and sit in these tables. So we load the data from different source systems, from different ERPs, SAP ERPs, non-SAP ERPs, different non-SAP databases using different types of transforms. SLT, okay, these are the different methods how the data will come and sit in these tables. No, very good question. What is the question from Nishu Gupta is there any restrictions on number of tables which we can open or view structure and the table structure of the information models? No. If you keep opening, it will keep adding the tabs. See here. So once, okay, this is occupied, then it will show you the arrows here. See, can you see the arrow? See, arrow means, okay, apart from these tabs, there are two more new. See, there are two more new tabs exist because this is a space that is available. In this space, these many tabs it can accommodate. What about the other tabs that are open? If you click this arrow mark, it will. Now you can see 3. Now you can see 4. So you can see 4. Now you can see 5. Now you can see, okay, like this. So once you started deleting those, once you have viewed whatever, delete, 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 remove. So the agenda for tomorrow's class is, today I will be posting one assignment. So in look and feel in SAP HANA Basics that we covered in the demo session, and yesterday and today we completed this look and feel of SAP HANA Studio. So tomorrow only one session architecture, then we are all set. So next session is going to be all hands-on, data provisioning, modeling, reporting, okay, BW with SAP HANA, new features of support pack 9, most of them are hands-on only. So theory and hands-on will go side by side. Yeah, that's all for the day, folks. Today, yes, today only you'll get the access. We can continue.